Happy to be joined from Switzerland by Tim Kriegers at Pi Ereneth. Good morning or good afternoon, Tim.
Good morning, Regan. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you? Good to see you.
Perfect. Fantastic.
But let's tell people, Tim, this company of yours, really fascinating. We're talking about the green revolution, zero emissions. Tell me about the e-race, where we want to end up. What are you aiming for?
Actually, the e-race is a new concept of flying, of racing. And the goal is to change the normal engine with electric motors. And the main goal is to bring the future to us. So it's like car racing. You just develop new technologies in a fast way, and then you can develop this technology for real aviation, general aviation, and airlines business. So we're aiming to get this race aircraft and develop technologies.
And we were speaking a little bit earlier, you were telling me you're looking at 8 races per race, 8 pilots, 8 aircraft per race?
Absolutely. So the plan is to get 8 aircraft flying together at the same time, which is quite special.
And is it to circuit, a loop circuit, or any other twists and turns in the track?
Absolutely. There are pylons, and you just fly around these pylons. And one lap is about 5 kilometers. And then you do like 4 to 5 laps a race.
The aircraft, it's called the UR1 that you're developing?
That's correct. Our first aircraft is called the UR1.
So that's where we want to be with the race. 8 of these aircraft in the Air Race E. I can almost see it now. Ladies and gentlemen, live here, Air Race E, starting off the season. And how far along are we, Tim? Where are we at?
The first qualifying events would take place this fall.
Wow.
And the official races, the actual plan is to have 2 official races next year.
Yes.
And then in 2025 to get 8 races. So it's a total of 11 races planned for at that moment.
All right, quite advanced. What about pilots? Have we got pilots selected yet, or is that still to come?
Sorry, say again?
Do you have the pilots selected as yet?
We do have the pilot already, so it's the boss of our company which are gonna fly this UR1 aircraft.
So you're developing, let me just get my head around exactly what's going to happen. You're developing all the aircraft, is that correct? All 8 will be yours?
No, not at all. Like there is an organizer which is Air Race E, and the Air Race E just needs teams to get the races ready, and we are one of the official team for that race.
Right.
And each team can develop its aircraft itself, so it's quite free. We have some regulations about the size and the power of the engines, but it's quite free. And some teams, they use a cassette, which is a race aircraft using by the Air Race 1 event, like a small one. And with a retrofit of an electric motor, but we choose to develop the aircraft by ourselves. So we will be the only aircraft which will look like ours.
Team Magpie, that's the name, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And you're going to go with a V-tail, V-shaped tail?
That's the plan. That's correct. So we have this V-tail, and we will try to bring the V-tail. Like the V-tail is quite fantastic for, you have less drag and you can actually speed faster, fly faster. So we will try to bring this concept into air racing.
What can you tell me about the aircraft, Tim? Can you tell me any specifications at the moment or not?
Absolutely. The aircraft, actually, it's less than 400 kilograms. So we plan it with the pilot at around 400 kilograms. We have a limitation of 200 horsepower for the race, so 150 kilowatts. And we have around 1 kilowatt hour of supply, battery supply, with 12 batteries located in the wings. So with this, we expect to fly around 5 minutes and then have 15 minutes reserve once on the ground. And we aim to achieve a maximum speed of 590 kilometers an hour, which is around 270 knots.
All right, amazing. I've just got a picture in my head of Formula One, changing the wheels. It won't be like this with the batteries, no?
No, not at all. So we will land, so we won't change the wings, we won't change the batteries, so the batteries will stay in the aircraft. We just expect to get a load, like reloading the aircraft in an hour.
Right. And
So
this
500.
race, this is just part of what you're working on. Tell me what else is happening there in the company, Tim.
In the company, like every team, the main goal first is to develop the aircraft.
Right.
There are no race aircraft flying today, and this is the first event with people flying race plane, electric race plane. So the first challenge is to develop the aircraft and make it fly.
Right.
And then we will see what teams can finish pass over the finish line. This is the first goal, just to finish the race, and the second goal is maybe to win the race.
How much do you know about the other developments and the other teams, the other aircraft? Are you aware of them? Are you in contact with them? Is it all very separate? Tell me a bit about how that's working.
Every month we have a meeting with the organizer RSE, and all team are trying to work somehow together to see what can be improved in the regulation, because the regulations are new and it's important for the organizer to see what's possible, what's not possible. Like if you go in Saudi Arabia for a race, or can you supply the aircraft with electricity, with the different voltages of every country? So that is kind of stuff we are working all together. And as 2020 was a difficult year with suppliers, and we're trying to help ourselves, to have tips and hints to get batteries delivered or whatever.
There seems to be a big revolution right now in electric aircraft. Just in the last 12 months, we've been publishing different stories of different aircraft that have been converted or being built brand new. It's a big time for you guys.
Absolutely. Like the car revolution is done, and now we try to make the plane revolution.
So tell me about the history of not only how you got involved in the air race, but where the company came from as well. Which came first? The company came first, I would imagine.
How about the same? Like in 2019, they were the first site of the RSE taking shape. And last year, our CEO, Mark Umbricht, he decided to found the company. So he was an airline pilot before, and then he changed to go in engineering, aeronautical engineering. And with this, he could see what are the problems of the future, what can be solved. He tried to bring this new concept of electric flying, and he's trying to develop new systems and new vision of electric flying. And for example, actually in our aircraft, the UR1, the V-tail should be one of the concepts.
What's your history, Tim? How did you get involved?
Actually, I'm an airline pilot.
Yes.
So I'm flying the A330, but with the pandemic, I haven't been flying for the last year. So It's quite a difficult time. And then Malcolm Frisch, which is also a friend of mine, he asked me if I would like to be involved in the project. And for me, that was sure I would like to get involved in that project. So aviation, communication, all that stuff, that's my place.
And have you got your eyes on competing in this, or is it just for the boss?
I'm not planning to compete. I like to develop the company, but for now, I'm not planning to fly this aircraft.
Tell me a bit about your aviation history, Tim. Where did it begin for you learning to fly?
It's a long story now. I will make it.
It's okay.
When I was young, I was not planning to be a pilot because it seems to me really difficult and like something for very, very clever people and very rich people. And when I was at the high school, a friend of mine, he was participating in like a military course, which got subvention from the States, so which is cheap. And I was like, oh, he succeeds, so why not me? So I tried this course, and I had quite good grades at this course. And they were like, hey, Tim, maybe you should try to go further in your career. And I remarked that aviation is for everybody and that the money is not the main deal, because you can get ideas or you can be clever enough to get solutions.
Right.
So after that, I tried to get military pilot, but Switzerland is a really small country with only a dozen of pilots taken each year. Yeah. So I failed there. And then I was like, why not trying in the airline industry? And in 2012, I started my professional license course, and I'm flying the Airbus from 2015 5 years A320, short, medium haul, and last year I started on the long haul.
And how do you feel? Does it feel like it's just all happened in a natural progression, or sometimes do you feel, I can't believe where I am and what I've achieved? How does it feel to you inside?
I mean, it's crazy. For me, it's always you're walking in your life and you have doors in front of you and you have no idea if the door is going to be closed or open. And if you're on an open door, why not try to open it and see how further you can go? So actually all the progress was natural, but even now I have difficulties to realize that I'm flying a 200 tons aircraft.
Yeah, it's crazy. What do you think about the industry at the moment, Tim? I mean, it's a bad time. A lot of people have lost their jobs. And how do you feel it's going to be in the next few years?
I have no idea. It's really difficult because many things are coming together at the same time. So you have the fly scam, the people not wanting to take the aircraft because there's too much pollution. You have the regulation of the countries. You have the COVID. So for now, it's not looking really great, but I think when I talk to people, they all want to travel again, and they all want to go further and go to an island or whatever and wherever. So I think the demand is still here. It's just a matter of time until we can travel freely somehow. And with all the greenwashing aviation, so we need to realize that aviation is not the main CO2 producer of the world.
Really do agree. It's hard, isn't it? Just being in one place for all this time, almost a year now for a lot of people, really is difficult.
Mm-hmm. And I think to all people living in a really small flat and being stuck in this really small flat, so yeah, it might be really difficult.
So Air Race E, where are they based, Tim?
Actually, Air Race E, they're based mainly in Spain. So the first qualifying event will be in Spain, I guess, and the races, one in Spain and one in Saudi Arabia. So we still to fix definitely the calendar.
Right. And what's happening around you right now? Tell me on a daily basis what's going on there in that building.
Actually, I can show you somehow.
Yes.
You won't see too much.
Absolutely, yes.
Like we have the office on the foreground with the engineer. So just right now they are on a break, a coffee break, bio break.
Yes.
And in the back you have they are cutting wood today actually, and they will stack the wood together to start a wing shape. So next week we will start to shape the wing of our aircraft. So every day is different. You get the mold. You do fiberglass, or then you do carbon fiberglass, and then you make the wings, and then you start to integrate components together. So that's really
interesting.
Every day is different, really interesting.
So we're in February, almost the middle of February now. Walk me through a little bit about the timescale of this year, where you expect to be, and what you think is going to be happening as we move through the months.
So first, last year in March, the company was founded, but we had nothing. And then in July last year, we got the workshop, and we started to buy tools and stuff we need to build the aircraft. It was also a challenge to get the right people, the right engineers to do that job properly. And we have very good people now working for us. And the first fuselage was done in fiberglass. Just for a mock-up to see what needs to be changed. And now they're working on the wings. So the wing should be ready in maybe 1 or 2 months. And the batteries should be ready maybe in 3 months. Yeah. And we hope to get this aircraft in flight in June or maybe July to have the first flight tests.
Incredible. Are you anywhere near an airfield or an aerodrome that you can do your flight tests, or is it too far away? Or where are you?
From our office, we can drive 20 minutes, half an hour, and we go to a military airfield. So we're planning to do the flight test in a military airbase in Switzerland, which is called Payerne. This is where the Solar Impulse did his first flight, actually.
Wow. So innovation is there. It's seeping through the area. Where are you? What town are you in, Tim?
Sorry?
Where exactly are you? What is the town that you're in Switzerland?
The town with which is the workshop is called La Sarra. So it's not super easy to write it down if you don't speak French, but it's La Sarra, and the main office is in Saint-Pré. So Saint-Pré is like Lake Geneva. If you see the Lake Geneva, it's about Saint-Pré is at the lake, and La Sarra is about 20 minutes from the lake.
So obviously you're on the French side of the lake.
That's correct.
Yes, yes. I know we spoke the other day a little bit about Lake Geneva, what a beautiful area of Switzerland that is, absolutely gorgeous.
It is like mountains, sea. You have everything you want there.
Yes. The development of the batteries, Tim, is that all done in-house, or have you got external help? Tell me about the batteries.
We are working with a company in Czech Republic. So it's a common project to develop batteries. And we aim to get the most efficient batteries, not for the endurance, but for the power supply. And it's a common project, and the batteries are being developed in Czech Republic.
Right. Now, the company that you're with now is not only for development of the air race. You're looking at full development of all clean, zero emissions aircraft.
Absolutely. So the air race for us is just the UR1, so the first aircraft we are making. It's mainly an aircraft for us to get knowledge, because we haven't been building aircraft before. So this is the first project, the first aircraft we're building. So every time you have an aircraft, you make mistakes, failures, and it's better to have an aircraft which is experimental and fast to develop. And we can build the team and get the concepts and see what's working, what's not working. So next year, so maybe the end of this year, but mainly next year, we will try to develop the distributed electric propulsion. So now there is this concept of having many motors, electric motors on the wings, because if you accelerate the airflow of the wings, you increase the lift. So then you can have an heavier aircraft for the same performance.
Nice.
So the main goal for our company is next year, so to make experience with this aircraft, and next year we will develop one experimental aircraft with distributed electric propulsion, and on the same time to develop a general aviation aircraft for four-seater, we try to be selling in 2026.
How far do you think electric aircrafts can go? What kind of size? I mean, who can say? Innovation is innovation. You never know what the future brings, but do you think we can actually somewhere down the line reach to airliners, electric airliners?
It's difficult to answer. So for now, I guess our main goal is to achieve around 3 to 4 hours endurance with an aircraft which is flying 110 knots.
Right.
So like an aircraft which is in the performance really close to a normal aircraft, like a Piper Warrior or a Robin or whatever. So this is already difficult because of the low density of the batteries. So the first concept, if you can bring electric aircraft in small aircraft, it's already a lot, because then you don't take an aircraft which is really noisy. You take an electric aircraft to have a run, to fly over the Alps and have a sightseeing, or just make small airport transfers. For the airline industry, for the moment, it's super hard, because if you think you take, like for A380, you take like 600 tons at 12,000 meters high, so 39,000 feet, 40,000 feet, with a speed of 500 knots, or which is around 900 kilometers an hour. All electrical, it's a problem for now. And when you have the batteries, when you end the flight, you still have the same mass of the aircraft. So you can't, as you do have the fuel, you burn the fuel, you're lighter, you can fly higher, you save fuel. Yeah. So with electricity and batteries, all the weight, all the mass you have stays in the aircraft.
Interesting stuff. It's going to be very interesting to see the development. Just getting back to the Air AC for a minute, we're talking electric aircraft. There's also, parallel to this, the drone development and the way we're using drones, especially for racing as well. We've got the FPV drone racing, but this company is developing the drones that you can actually sit in, so you have a pilot for racing them. Have you got your eye on that at all, or is that something not in your awareness?
Absolutely, just a little bit. And I think the drone is gonna play a really strong role in the future for deliveries, for example, for postal deliveries in remote areas. Switzerland is really small, so I don't see the concept in Switzerland. But if you go in countries where you have remote places, it could be a really great deal to have these kinds of machines, flying machines. And but we try to make a general aviation aircraft. So we started already with a manned aircraft.
So just to recap, we're talking about Team Magpie Air Race E, hoping to be in competition. When, Tim? When is it?
First qualifying event, October 2021.
October 2021. So we'll get through the spring, we'll get through the summer. And as we get a bit further into the summer, we'll get back in touch, Tim, and just have a catch up and see how it's going for you.
Perfect.
Tim, it's been great. It's great to talk to you today. Thanks for joining us.
Great to talk to you as well. Really enjoyed it.
Yes. You said best of luck to everybody at the team, and we'll speak to you soon, Tim. Thank you very much.
Perfect. I guess they can say hi to everyone.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
À tout à l'heure. Bye, Tim.
Bye bye, Regan. Thank you.